So a video I like to make every offseason is basically breaking down the NBA into a Hall of Fame tier list. Guys that I think could make it to the Hall of Fame if they retire today. Some guys that I think are on the right track or on the wrong track. Or maybe they've had a long career and I don't think they're going to get in when it's all said and done. So I have 6 different tiers for a bunch of different players that we're going to go over today. A lock, like I said, if you retire today or you're just on a great path right now when it's all said and done, it'll eventually happen. Maybe it's not a first ballot. And maybe when you retire, not a lot of people are going to come around the idea that you could be a Hall of Famer, but I think you'll eventually get in. On the right track, you maybe have the college, the international accolades that can get you in, and you're young right now, and you've done what you needed to do so far. On the wrong track, basically the opposite of that. Probably not. You're late in your career. I don't think you're going to have enough time to turn it around, and no chance. Yeah, you're probably already late in your career as well, and there's not a good chance you're going to make it to the Hall of Fame. I'm also excluding anybody that's still on a rookie contract, so guys from the 2025, 24, 23, and 2022 draft classes will not be here. There are guys like Victor Wembanyama, Paolo Banchero, Jalen Williams, etc., that are on the right track, some guys that are on the wrong track from those draft classes. It's still so early in some of their careers. All right, let's start off with Aaron Gordon, a player that's had a very solid career both with the Orlando Magic and the Denver Nuggets. What he has going for him is he won an NBA title with Denver in 2023. Didn't really accomplish too much in Arizona. He was a one and done. Hasn't really done too much on the international scene. But he's 29 years old. I don't know if I want to say that he's on the wrong track or probably not. I'll just say he's on the wrong track since he hasn't hit 30. What if he won 3 more rings in his career? I don't want to say that it's a guarantee he's not going to get in because he's on a great team right now with the Denver Nuggets. He could definitely win a title in 2026 or 2027 playing with Nikola Jokic, but I would just say he hasn't accomplished too many individual accolades for him to get in. Next up, we have Al Horford, and this is going to be one of the more polarizing players I think we could talk about because Al Horford, I don't think was having too much of a Hall of Fame career, but then he ended up winning a title with the Boston Celtics in 2024, and he's had a nice longevity throughout the last few years. He's somebody that's aged very well in this league. He's been a solid defender, good rotational player, and has really translated into the modern day shooting big style of play. He's a 5-time All-Star, 2011 All-NBA member, 2018 All-Defensive member. I'm actually going to change this tier, the second one, to 50-50. I think there's a chance you can get in. There's a chance you won't get in. I mean, we're at the end of his career. He's probably going to sign with the Golden State Warriors and finish out his career in the Bay Area. I would say that, yeah, there's a chance he can get in. There's a chance he won't get in. But I don't think I could say that it's an absolute lock that Al Horford will be a Hall of Famer. Oh, man. Alex Caruso just won an NBA title with the OKC Thunder. He won an NBA title with the Lakers in the bubble. So he's got 2 rings, and he's been somewhat of a top 10 defender on the perimeter for the last few seasons. And he would have gotten his 3rd all-defensive team this year if he played enough games. I'm just going to also say that he's on the wrong track. I don't know, like he's already 30 years old basically. He could win another ring or 2 in OKC, and if he gets 4 rings in his career, then we can have the conversation. But I'm just going to say that right now, he's not going to have the individual success. And there's been a lot of good defenders throughout the years in the NBA, so I just don't think that he's going to get in. Alperen Sengun's an interesting one. I mean, he's only, 4 years into his career, but he was just on a 2 seed with the Houston Rockets. He's made an all-star team, and he just turned 23 years old, especially for somebody that was not a lottery pick. I do think that Alperen Sengun is on the right track to being in those discussions, given that he's a top 10 center in the league. Like I said, he was just an all-star. 23 years old, year number 4. Who's to say that he won't be an all-star this year, even with adding Kevin Durant? And I do think he's done what he's needed to do so far, because I do think at the end of the day, a lot of this will come on your individual success and your accolades there. So, hey, who's to say he can't at least eclipse 5 All-Stars like Al Horford? Maybe he gets a ring in his career. We'll see if he maybe becomes better of a 3-point shooter throughout his career as well. And obviously was so good in Turkey before coming over to the NBA. Andre Drummond, there's no chance he's going to make it to the Hall of Fame. We are done with his prime. He's going to go down as one of the greatest rebounders in NBA history. If there was an NBA rebounding Hall of Fame, he would be a lock to make it, but he's just not going to make the Hall of Fame just for what he's done. He's had some great seasons with the Detroit Pistons. Didn't really result into too much team success, and he's always going to be remembered for just being a monster on the glass, but that's pretty much just it. Andrew Wiggins is interesting just because he won a ring with the Warriors in 2022. He was a number 1 overall pick. I think we would all look at Andrew Wiggins differently if he was like the 30th pick in the draft. Then we could have discussions that he's so much more valuable in this league, but he gets compared to other number 1 overall picks. And Andrew Wiggins was compared to like Kevin Durant and LeBron James coming out of Kansas in that 2014 draft. He's 30 years old. He's a 1-time All-Star. He's playing for the Miami Heat right now. Like, yeah, maybe if he was a part of 4 championship teams with the Golden State Warriors and he had those under his belt, I could say so, but I just don't think that he's on the right track. You can actually make an argument who's had the better career, Andrew Wiggins or Aaron Gordon, both from those 2014 draft classes. Anthony Davis is a lock to make it to the Hall of Fame. Kind of a generational prospect that has lived up to the hype. You could say that like him, Zion Williamson, maybe Andrew Wiggins have been like the most hyped up prospects since 2010 or since LeBron James. And Anthony Davis has delivered. I know he's had some disappointing seasons staying healthy, and he never maybe became the best player in the NBA or was never a top 3 player in the NBA like Giannis or Jokic have become, but he's got the USA stuff, he's got the Kentucky stuff, he's gone multiple all defensive teams, 10-time all-star game MVP, NBA title with the LA Lakers in the bubble. He is a lock to make it. I don't think if Anthony Edwards retired today, he'd make it to the Hall of Fame. There's nothing that really he accomplished at Georgia. He did just win a gold medal with Team USA, which is going to help him, but he's on the right track for sure. He's definitely somebody that could, if he could replicate what he's done over the last few years for like 3 to 4 more years, he's going to be a lock to be a Hall of Famer when he's like 28, 29 years old. He's still extremely young. He was drafted in 2020. He's made it to back-to-back Western Conference Finals and has brought basketball back to the state of Minnesota, making them a respectable franchise again. So Anthony Edwards, definitely on the right track. Austin Reaves, I mean, I don't think anybody ever thought Austin Reaves could be a Hall of Famer. He wasn't a part of the Lakers bubble team. Who knows if he's going to be on the Lakers in a year from now. I'm just going to say that he's on the wrong track. I don't think he's old enough for me to put him in the probably not tier. I think that could be reserved from some guys that we'll have later on, because the probably not is like 20% you can make it, 80% you can, or maybe even lower than that. I just don't think Austin Reaves is going to end up making it, although he can have some very good scoring seasons going forward. Maybe there's another level to Austin Reaves' game, but I just don't think he's going to get it. And yeah, like that USA team not winning the select medal a couple years ago was a little bit disappointing. Bam Adebayo, interesting. Like Bam isn't old enough to do 50-50. I'm going to say Bam is on the right track. I don't think he would be a Hall of Famer if he retired today. Maybe you could put him in the 50-50 because he's a little bit older than Anthony Edwards and Şengün, drafted in the 2017 class. Last pick for a Kentucky team that had a couple first rounders in De'Aaron Fox and Bam Adebayo. He just won a gold medal with Team USA. He's been a top defender in the sport for the last half decade. He's been to 2 NBA finals in 2020 and 2023. I don't think he's ever been a top 10 player in this league, but I do think he'll have the defensive accolades and the gold medals that can definitely get him in the Hall of Fame when he ends up retiring. Ben Simmons, yeah, probably not. I mean, I could put him in no chance, which is really sad because Ben Simmons had a better peak in prime than an Al Horford, then maybe even a Bam Adebayo for what he did earlier in his career. He was on all NBA teams, an all-star, all-defensive team caliber player. Was basically this modern-day version of Magic Johnson that couldn't shoot with his size, athleticism, and playmaking ability and what he could do defensively. It's just sad, yeah, what happened to Ben Simmons, man. He was so good in Philadelphia from 2018 to 2021. And that Atlanta Hawks series basically ended his Hall of Fame career because he was on the right track. But now I think there's no chance Ben Simmons ends up making it to the Hall of Fame. Bobby Portis, no chance as well. I do have a lot of guys that have been here for a little bit. Like Bobby Portis was drafted back in 2014. He's been in the NBA for 10 plus years now. He's had a very good career, just not a Hall of Fame career, but a very solid stretch for, and won an NBA title with the Milwaukee Bucks in 2021. Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal is going to be another 50-50 case. It's tough though, because Bradley Beal's had a very good peak in Washington, but he just may end up being the DeMar DeRozan conversation, somebody that was a very good scorer, but he never really rose his team's ceiling. Like Washington didn't really accomplish much outside of like those 1 to 2 years in 2017-18, and maybe he ends up getting a title with the LA Clippers, and that could definitely bolster his resume to being a Hall of Famer. I mean, he got a Supermax. You'd like to think that somebody that gets the Supermax should end up being a Hall of Famer. He's a 3-time All-Star. He's been on 1 All-NBA team. He did average 30 points per game in back-to-back seasons. You know what, though? I don't think he's going to get in. I mean, he's a little bit older. Like Bradley Beal is 32 years old, so he could have another 4 to 5, maybe 6 years left in the tank. I just don't think he's going to end up making it right now. He's going to be a very good player, and his numbers are probably going to go down or at least stay the same in Los Angeles. I don't know if that's going to help out his resume to make it. He's been injured a lot, so I don't think he's going to have like the all-time counting numbers either. He's going to be a fascinating one. I'd love to know what you guys think. Is this disrespectful? I'm not going to say that probably not is like worse. I can honestly just like bump up the probably not tier because I do think like you at least are in the conversation, like your name is going to get brought up, but I just don't think you're going to have as good of like 50-50 odds as somebody like Al Horford. I'm going to say Brandon Ingram is also on the wrong track. He's had prospect pedigree, right? Goes to Duke, was the number 2 overall pick in a 2016 draft, headlined a future Hall of Famer in a trade. Like the Anthony Davis trade, he was the main piece going back to New Orleans. He didn't win a gold medal with Team USA in the FIBA Select a couple years ago, and he kind of got benched by Steve Kerr at times as well. He didn't play at all last year after having somewhat of a down 2024 season, but a great 2023. I mean, Toronto just paid him $120 million. Who knows, right? Like, he's still young. I just don't think he's on the right track right now. Brook Lopez, also probably not. I do think he's had a better career than a Drummond, a Simmons, a Bobby Portis. He won a title in 2021. He finished runner-up to Jaren Jackson Jr. in Defensive Player of the Year voting. I think he's had a great career with the Lakers, with the Nets, and obviously the Milwaukee Bucks, turning his game around to being a great three-point shooter. And he's been a great defender as well. Basically a 3-and-D center since joining the Milwaukee Bucks, basically at the start of the decade. He's just not going to get in. I don't think as good of a career as Al Horford. Low-key, Buddy Hield has had a solid career. I know he just made it to the first time making the playoffs in 2024 with the Sixers. He was like the longest active player to not play a playoff game. But yeah, he was in the 2016 draft class, but he was an older player coming out of Oklahoma. He's going to have some really good three-point shooting counting numbers when it's all said and done. He's just not going to get in. He's probably on par with like Bobby Portis and Andre Drummond. Like Ben Simmons, it feels weird. Like he's had so much better of a peak than these three, but it's just Simmons, it's just such a short peak that you really can't give him the credit there. Cade Cunningham, definitely on the right track, like Anthony Edwards, like Şengün. Like, he's incredibly young, brought the Pistons back to relevancy this year, kind of like what Anthony Edwards did with the Minnesota Timberwolves and how Alperen Şengün helped the Rockets become relevant again in 2025. Cade was an All-NBA player this year. He could really become one of the best point guards in the league one day, which is saying a lot too, because like at the top, it's Shea and Luka. You would think that it's impossible to break that, but Cade does have the potential to maybe be better than one of those guys at one point in his career, and he could definitely be a top 10 player in the league. And maybe some of you guys think he's a top 10 player already. Definitely on the right track. I expect Edwards, Cade, maybe even Bam again to be on the 2028 USA Olympics team, which isn't a guarantee to win it for sure. Cam Johnson, probably like on the wrong track, was a little bit older in the 2019 draft class as well. He didn't win a title with the Suns in 2022. Maybe he wins a title with the Nuggets in 2023. So I don't want to say that he has a 0% chance, because he still has like a higher individual talent level than guys like Bobby Portis, Buddy Hield, and Andre Drummond. Maybe I'll say no chance, because there probably is no chance that Cam Johnson ends up making it. But for now, I'm going to lump him in this tier because he's still a really good player and could be in the Hall very good when he retires. Chris Paul's obviously a lock to be a Hall of Famer. There's been too much Chris Paul disrespect this offseason because he needs to be remembered and I think appreciated as one of the GOAT point guards. He's not as good as Magic Johnson and maybe not as John Stockton or Steph Curry, but honestly, like, he's really close to those guys. I think it's Magic and Steph in their own tier. And then I think he's got the conversation to be better than Stockton, Kidd, Nash in tier number 2. He's got crazy longevity, playing till he's 40 years old. He has elevated every team he's gone to. The Hornets, the Clippers, the Suns, the Thunder, the Rockets. Like, he is the point god, and I'm always going to appreciate Chris Paul's career. The defense, the playmaking, the pick and roll, the scoring. Yeah, and the Lob City Clips were some of the most fun I've had watching a non-Knicks team in my lifetime. CJ McCollum, I mean, his career's kind of, yeah, like, it's a probably not career. Like, do you think that Bradley Beal is closer to, like, these guys here of Anthony Davis and Chris Paul? Or do you think he's closer to somebody like CJ McCollum, who's never made it to an All-Star game? He did win the 2016 Most Improved Player, and he's averaged 20 points per game for pretty much the last decade, since 2016, which is incredibly impressive, but maybe for what he did for the CBA, that's going to get him in the Hall of Fame. Probably not. So yeah, I do think he's in this tier with Brook Lopez right now. Clint Capella, yeah, no chance he's making it to the Hall of Fame. A solid big man career for sure. Somebody that was a late first round pick out of Switzerland. He's going back to the Houston Rockets next year, but he's not going to make it to the Hall of Fame. I'll say Kobe White's, like, he's good enough where I wanted to bring him up today. I do think he's probably on the wrong track, similar to his UNC teammate Cam Johnson. A very good individual player, could be in the Hall very good one day. And Kobe White was maybe just a rotational player a few years ago, but is now looked at as somebody that could be a fringe all-star in 2026 with the Chicago Bulls. Same with Colin Sexton. I can't write him off just yet. He's had a good career. He was a top 10 pick in the 2018 NBA draft. But I do think, you know what? I'm going to probably bump down Colin Sexton. I do think there is no chance he ends up making it. He's going to be like a 6th, 7th, 8th man in Charlotte. That's probably not going to have too much team success. We'll see what team he's on if he leaves them. He's an expiring contract. I'll put my stamp down that there's no chance he makes it, and I may have to put some of these guys there with him. Damian Lillard is a lock to make it to the Hall of Fame, an incredibly high peak. I do think Chris Paul's a better player all time than Damian Lillard. I think there was like a fringe moment where Dame was like a top 10 player for some time. He did make it to one Western Conference Finals with the Blazers in 2019, 9-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA member, one of the greatest three-point shooters in NBA history, one of the most clutch playoff performers as well, with like 2 series winning buzzer beaters against the Houston Rockets and the OKC Thunder. There's probably no chance D'Lo ends up making it to the Hall of Fame. He's had a solid career, probably not living up to the hype of somebody that was drafted second overall after Karl-Anthony Towns in that 2015 draft, but it could have gone a lot worse for him. I mean, Jahlil Okafor was the third overall pick, and he's been out of the league for a little bit. Darius Garland is a tough one, because I feel like Darius Garland, man, like, he could just be like Bradley Beal-esque. I don't, like, he's tough, because, like, I don't know if I want to put him on the right track. Like, maybe if he keeps putting up like 18 and 10 on really good efficiency for a 60-win team, he's got to be in those conversations. Like, I do like his chances just because he's younger than Andrew Wiggins and Aaron Gordon. He doesn't have an NBA title. He's averaged around 19 points and 7 assists across 6 years in the league. I don't know. It's tough, man, to put him on the right track compared, like, at one point, Brandon Ingram better than Garland. You can even make an argument he's better right now. This is my first, like, really tough one where I want to put Darius Garland. Because, I don't know, I think I'm going to put him on the right track because he's on a good team right now. There's a chance the Cavs win the 2026 finals, and that is going to elevate his resume 100%. I may end up bumping him down to on the wrong track, but I do think I want to respect Garland because he's younger than basically everybody here, and he's had at least 2 All-Star seasons. Like, Caruso's never made it to an All-Star game. Reaves has never made it to an All-Star game. Yes, like, Caruso has won an NBA Finals, same with Wiggins and Gordon. I just feel like Garland right now is maybe peaked higher than Gordon ever had in an individual season. Maybe not Wiggins yet, but he does have a lot of room. And he's still just 25 years old. I know he's suffered some injury history. I do think De'Aaron Fox is on the right track as well. I think he's been somebody that's turned a Kings franchise around. He got traded to the Spurs, where I do think he can have team success. He just got extended for 4 years. He's going to get a bump playing with Wemby. He's only made it to 1 All-Star game in his career, but he's averaged over 25 points in a season. He's won Clutch Player of the Year, if that means anything. He's been an NBA single season steals champion. I think Fox is on the right track. You could disagree with Garland and Fox going forward. DeAndre Ayton, no chance he makes it to the Hall of Fame. I don't even want to put him on the wrong track. He's had some good individual seasons. Like, he could have won a title with the 2021 or 2022 Suns teams, but I just feel like he's not going to rebound to what the hype was as the #1 pick in the 2018 draft. DeJounte Murray's on the wrong track as well. A part of me wants to just say no chance for DeJounte Murray. He's coming off an Achilles tear. I don't think he's going to have too much team success in New Orleans, and I feel like his best seasons are behind him, and it was probably that last year in San Antonio before getting traded to the Hawks. So I'm going to say no chance, but I feel like if I put no chance for him, then I would have to for Kobe White and Cam Johnson, and I just... maybe I would just put him on the wrong track. DeRozan is a 50-50. I cannot say that DeMar DeRozan is a lock, but he's a 6-time All-Star, a 3-time All-NBA member. He's been a fantastic scorer for the Toronto Raptors, for the Spurs, and even for the Sacramento Kings. He's 36 years old. He never fully adapted to the three-point shooting. He's only made it to 1 conference finals, and that was in 2016, where it just felt like LeBron and the Cavs were beating them every single year. I think he'll eventually get in, and he also won a 2016 gold medal with Team USA, which is going to help a ton. Denny Avdia, like, he just had his first good year. I'm going to say he's probably on the wrong track. Now, he could fully break out this year and go up a different tier, but we're now going into, what, year number 6 or year number 5 of Denny Avdia? No, it's going to be year number 6. I just don't think he's going to hit that peak right now. Dennis Schroeder, no chance. Good career, has played for so many teams in the 2020s, but he's had a nice career and just got rewarded basically another $30 million guaranteed this offseason from the Kings and a chance to get $45 million. Oh, man, Derek White just won a gold medal. Oh, man, Derek White's a tough one, because you may look at him and you're like, Matt, Brandon Ingram has been better than him. Andrew Wiggins has been better than him. I think I'm going to put it, but he's got an NBA title. He's got a gold medal. I'm going to put him in the probably not, because he's a little bit older than some of these guys. He was drafted the same class as Bam Adebayo. I think he's going to have a very good career and more accolades, and I think more of a Hall of Fame resume than some of the guys on the right track, or excuse me, on the wrong track. I just don't think he's going to end up fully getting in when he retires. Desmond Bane's had a good career so far, but I just don't think he's going to end up being like a Hall of Fame type player. I could be completely wrong about him. Like, an amazing 3-point shooter. I wonder if the numbers dip in Orlando now that he's changing his system completely. But he's been a great player. Like, all these guys on the wrong track are great players, and that's why I put him in this list. Devin Booker is definitely on the right track. Just won a gold medal with Team USA. He's, like, very similar to Bam. He was drafted in 2015. You could make an argument that Devin Booker would be a Hall of Famer today if he retired, given how long his prime and his peak has been, and it's still ongoing. A down year for him last year. Still averaged 25 points. He just signed a $150 million 2-year extension with the Suns this offseason. Gold medal with Bam and AD last summer. So if you wanted to say that, like, Booker, like, I think right now if he retired today, he'd be like a 50-50 chance he gets in already. I would say Domantas Sabonis has probably peaked higher than everybody in on the wrong track. And I think if I have Garland here, I gotta have Sabonis here. Now, he's a little bit older, drafted in 2016, three-time All-Star, monster rebounder, great playmaker for somebody at the center position. He may have like the offensive numbers. Like, do you think Şengün is going to be that much better at his peak than Domantas Sabonis is right now? He definitely could. You could even make an argument that like Şengün is already peaked higher than Sabonis. Sabonis just has a little bit more longevity. But I feel like he's not too different from like a Brandon Ingram, who I have been on the wrong track. So I may put Sabonis and probably not, where I think you're going to at least be in those conversations more than the people and on the wrong track will be going forward. That's a tough one for me, for sure. I think Donovan Mitchell, definitely on the right track. I mean, I don't think if he retired today, he'd get in the Hall of Fame. Never made it to a conference finals yet, both with the Jazz in the West and the Cavs in the East, but was just an All-NBA first team member last year. I think he'll eventually be a Hall of Famer. I just don't know if he retired today, he would get in. I do think Draymond's a lock. He's won a Defensive Player of the Year. He's got 4 rings with the Golden State Warriors. Kind of revolutionized a stretch 4, a playmaking 4, a point forward. Kind of like becoming what everybody thought Lamar Odom could peak at. Definitely helps playing with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant in Golden State. But I just think what he's done, he's going to end up being a Hall of Famer. Evan Mobley, definitely on the right track. Just won a Defensive Player of the Year award. Still incredibly young. And it's going to be the first year on his rookie extension going forward. I think Franz Wagner's on the right track as well. There's a reason why he got a rookie max extension like Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham. And he's going to have the scoring volume going forward. And I think will peak higher than guys like Brandon Ingram, Desmond Bane that have had good careers, and even Andrew Wiggins. But that ring can help you out so much. Like for Caruso having 2, Wiggins having 1, and Gordon having 1, I think it elevates them over some of these guys that don't have a ring already. Giannis is a lock. If he retired today, he'd get in. He's won a depoy. He's won an NBA Finals/Finals MVP, multiple time MVP winner. He's been a top 3 player in the league for the last half decade. There's really no question about that one. Harrison Barnes, a solid career. He's played for a lot of teams. He's going to have, I think, another vital role for the San Antonio Spurs this year. Didn't win a title with Golden State. I don't think there's a shot he gets in. Immanuel Quickley, probably on the wrong track right now. I mean, if I was going to be a little bit harsher, I'm going to probably say no chance. I think Immanuel Quickley is going to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think DeJounte Murray is going to be in the Hall of Fame either, or Kobe White. I think, is it inevitable I just bump these guys down? I don't know. Maybe I'll have them here. But I'm going to have Immanuel Quickley in this tier. Kind of similar to Colin Sexton in a way. Like, still young. Like, Quickley was a little bit older. Like, he was a sophomore coming out of Kentucky in the 2020 class. He's had a good career. Zubac's on the wrong track. I mean, he was so good in 2025. Like, a top 10 defender. A top 25 player that were eligible, I think, for an All-NBA team. And he was great for the Clippers. The advanced numbers love him. He's not going to get him. But the fact that I'm bringing him up, I think, is really impressive for Zubac's career. Ja, like, I think he's still on the right track. Like, I know there's been the off-the-court thing, some injuries, but Ja has peaked higher than anybody in on the wrong track. He's brought the Grizzlies to multiple 2 seeds. He's averaged 27 points in a season, All-NBA, All-Star, and still fairly young. Like, he was drafted as a sophomore in the 2019 draft. He was so good in the second half. I still think Ja's on the right track. That may be a hot take. Jaden McDaniels, I don't think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Great player in today's, like, modern style, the way that he can defend. I just don't think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Jakob Poeltl, probably no chance as well. Oh man, Jalen Brunson is tough because like a couple years ago, I'm saying like no chance or on the wrong track. But Jalen Brunson, you can make an argument as a top 10 player in the league. Nobody here I've ever thought has been a top 10 player in the league or kind of close to it. Ben Simmons was maybe that at one point, but that peak is not high whatsoever. He's averaged 26 and 7 over the last 3 years. Remember, he did win 2 national championships with Villanova, which will go into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Now, he didn't get like a gold medal with the FIBA select team 2 years ago. We'll see if he's going to be on the 2028 USA team. He just brought the Knicks to the conference finals. He's made it to a conference finals with the Dallas Mavericks as well. I think Brunson is on the right track. Like, if I have Darius Garland here, I have to have Jalen Brunson here, who was a little bit older, 3-year player coming out of Villanova, but he's peaked higher than Fox, in my opinion, and Garland and Şengün at this moment, even though those guys are still a little bit younger. I'm still debating if I want to have Garland in this tier going forward. Jalen Green, probably on the wrong track. He still can have a great career. He's going to be in a new environment, which can be good for him in Phoenix, but I don't think he's done enough so far to be in the conversation for on the right track. I mean, Jalen Johnson is so tough. Like, it's such a small sample size of him breaking out. I think he's like kind of similar in Denny Avdia. If there is another tier to his game, he could definitely be on the right track when I'm making this tier list in a year from now, but I think I need to see it Like, there is the hypothetical and the projection of it, but I need to see it. I'm not going to just do this off the potential because, yeah, there's a potential that Brandon Ingram could play like a $40 million player. We'll see. Jalen Suggs, good player, good complimentary player, good maybe like Derek White type role on maybe a good Magic team this year. Hall of Fame, it's tough to really say right now. Jamal Murray is so tough, man. I think he's like, since he was drafted in 2016, like Sabonis, is going to have like the individual scoring seasons. Didn't do much for Team Canada in the Olympics, but he won a title with Denver. He's gone to a couple conference finals with Denver as well, like in the bubble. And he's such a good playoff riser. I think it's going to like a Bradley Beal, CJ McCollum type career when it's all said and done. James Harden, probably not. I'm just kidding, keeping you on your toes. He's a lock to make it to the Hall of Fame. One of the greatest scoring peaks ever in the late 2010s with the Houston Rockets. Multiple All-Stars, All-NBAs. That's an easy one. Jaylen Brown, on the right track. I mean, he did just win Finals MVP, so this is like the Iguodala thing, right? Like, do you think he's a lock to make it right now? He's had roughly like a 5-year peak right now, and he's a 4-time All-Star, maybe somewhat of a down year to his standards in 2025. But yeah, he was a conference finals MVP. He was a finals MVP last year. Like, that alone, I kind of want to put him in 50-50 because he's also been to so many conference finals as well. Like, I do think just the finals MVP has to give him a better chance at making it to the Hall of Fame. If like all these players and on the right track retired today with Jaylen Brown, I think Brown would have the best case. Not like maybe the best individual peak. Like, that's probably Donovan Mitchell or Devin Booker or Anthony Edwards so far, maybe Brunson. But I do think Brown having the finals MVP, I kind of want to put him in 50-50. Like, if he retired today, there's at least a conversation with that. Jason Tatum, I mean, he's a lock to make it. I think if he retired today, he would actually be a Hall of Famer. Like, he's a 6-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, won a gold medal with Team USA last year. He's been to countless conference finals at his age. He's been to multiple NBA finals, won it all in 2024 with the Celtics. He's been a top 5 player in the league for some time now. I think Tatum would be a lock to make it if he ended up retiring today. Jeff Green, great career, but no chance. Jeremy Grant, no chance as well. Jeff Green, though, underrated career for sure. Jimmy Butler, lock? Probably. It's the NBA Hall of Fame, right? I don't know what I'm saying. 6-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, a fantastic career for the last pick of the 2011 NBA draft. He has brought he brought the Miami Heat to the 2020 and 2023 playoffs. And that 2023, like, round 1 series, I think is iconic for Jimmy Butler. In just NBA history. I love this outdated PNG I have of him. But yeah, just what Jimmy did against Milwaukee as an 18 will always be remembered. Embiid, like, if Embiid retired today, is he a lock to make it? I mean, he's an MVP. The only MVP to probably never make it to the Hall of Fame will be Derrick Rose. He won a gold medal. He's got a runner-up to the MVP award. He won the MVP award in 2023. And I think a longer prime, yeah, definitely, than Derrick Rose. So I do believe if Joel Embiid retired and never played a single minute in the NBA, he would end up making it to the Hall of Fame for sure. John Wall is a tough one. Like, I'm going to put him in the 50-50. I can't say with a guarantee he's going to make it. He had such a fun prime with the Washington Wizards. He had the high school pedigree, the #1 player in the country for that 2010 season with the Kentucky Wildcats. He was the #1 overall pick. I feel like you just had to be there. Like, he was the coolest player in the world for a few years, like one of the best mixtapes ever. I know that shouldn't really go too much into your Hall of Fame resume. I think he's going to have a discussion. Like, it's similar to DeMar DeRozan. It's just injuries derailed the back half of his career. Like, guys like Mike Conley, who was drafted like 4 years earlier than John Wall, have had longer careers, which is kind of crazy, honestly. Jonathan Kuminga, on the wrong track, you could say. I would say Jordan Poole is on the wrong track. I don't want to say no chance because he's got that ring. I think Josh Giddey's on the wrong track. Josh Hart, there's a world where he's like a similar player to Derek White. He would need a ring with the Knicks to be in this conversation. Maybe win a gold medal with the FIBA select team in 2022. Probably on the wrong track. I don't know if I want to put him in no chance, but it's not looking good. Jrue Holiday, I think he's going to be a lock to make it. He just won a gold medal with Team USA after winning an NBA Finals with the Celtics in 2024. Maybe I do think he's closer to like Al Horford than like these guys who I feel like have peaked completely different. In a different way than Jrue Holiday. So I'm going to put him in 50-50 right now. We'll see if he gets another ring. Probably not, since he got traded to the Trailblazers. Julius Randle, low-key, like, has had a very good prime with the Knicks. Like, he's averaged 25 points in a season, multiple All-NBA teams, the most improved player. He made it to a conference finals. Like, same draft class as Aaron Gordon. He needs that ring to, I think, elevate the resume. Yusuf Nurkic, no chance. Karl-Anthony Towns, I think, is on the right track. If he retired today, like, he could go down as one of the greatest shooting big men of NBA history. I think, like, #1 overall pick in 2015, has lived up to the hype, has been, like, a borderline top 10, top 15 player for a decent amount of time. Was an iconic player at Kentucky in 2015, like, such a good Kentucky team that didn't win it all. I think it's a 50-50 chance Cat could retire today and get in, honestly. Kawhi Leonard's a lock two-time Finals MVP with two different teams. What he did for the city of Toronto, yeah, that's an easy one for sure. KCP, probably no chance. Like, good role player. He won a ring in Denver, won a ring in Los Angeles. I don't think he's going to win a ring in Memphis. But I do think he's had a solid career. Kevin Durant, one of the greatest scorers, maybe the greatest scorer in NBA history. Multiple rings. He's won an MVP. That's the lock of all locks. Chris Middleton, I'm going to put him in probably not. I think it's like not as like high peak of a season as like a Bradley Beal, like 30 point per game season, but he won a ring with the Bucks with Brook Lopez in 2021. I think he's like a Bucks Hall of Famer. Maybe not an NBA Hall of Famer. Klay Thompson, also another lock. One of the greatest shooters in NBA history. Won 4 titles with the Golden State Warriors. And people forget how good of a defender he was in his prime as well. Kristaps, I mean, he got the ring. He's just not going to have, I think, like the health and the counting numbers and maybe the longevity. So I'm going to put him on the wrong track, but I don't want to kind of rule him out just yet. Kyle Kuzma, no chance. I think Kyle Lowry will make it to the Hall of Fame. Like, he got a ring with the Raptors in 2019. 6-time All-Star, 1-time All-NBA member. Definitely benefited. Like, he benefited playing in the Eastern Conference to make and start some All-Star games. I do think he's had a better, like, peak than Drew Holiday and a longer prime offensively. I think he's got a slightly better chance than Drew, but I do think he's kind of close to Drew. So I'm actually going to put him in 50-50. But, like, he's got a more Hall of Fame career than, like, a John Wall. I think John Wall's got like the lowest chance out of all these guys. I only have Jaylen Brown in here because I do think the Finals MVP elevates him over like a Jamal Murray, personally. Kyrie Irving, yep, Hall of Famer. Was amazing for the 2016 Cavs team. He's been a fantastic scorer, maybe the greatest ball handler in NBA history as well, and brought the Mavericks, or helped bring the Mavericks with Luka to the 2024 NBA Finals. LaMelo Ball, man, like, I think on the wrong track, I'm going to put him at. Like, he's got the potential. Like, he's got a higher ceiling than maybe anybody here, but it's just like the health. Can I believe in it? And he's not going to have too much team success, at least I think in the next 2 to 3 years in Charlotte. And then where do we go from there? Like, I do think Garland is going to maybe get a conference finals or 2 in Cleveland with the Eastern Conference right now. At least I shouldn't be going that off projections. I do think, though, your team standing right now can give you a slight bump. Like, I do think LaMelo, if I'm starting a team right now, I still may take LaMelo over Garland, but I do think Garland has just proven more, and it's pretty much just been on health and team success so far. Lauri Markkanen on the wrong track. I don't know if any of his international stuff could give him a boost as well. In Finland, we'll see like how they do with the Eurobasket. Does that really matter too much in the Basketball Hall of Fame? Didn't do much at like Arizona specifically. Like, didn't win a national title there. He's won a Most Improved Player. We'll see. He's kind of similar to like Julius Randle going forward. LeBron, I think he's on the right track. I got to see like another 5 to 10 years of his skill set from him. Obviously the most lock of here. He could have retired. Like, when could have LeBron retired to be like a 100% a Hall of Famer? Probably after the 2007 season. Could have been earlier, honestly. Luka Doncic, probably a Hall of Famer if he retired today, which is crazy because he was drafted in 2018. But his international legacy, outside of last year because he was hurt in his rookie year, he's made it to All-NBA first team and an All-Star every single year, brought the Mavericks to the conference finals in 2022, brought them to the NBA finals in 2024. He's been looked at as a top 5 player in the league for the last basically 6 years, every year outside his rookie season, which is incredible. And that's why it was such a big deal when Nico Harrison traded him away. I do think if Luka retired today, he would be a Hall of Famer, like kind of like Embiid in a way, although he was drafted 4 years after Embiid, which makes it impressive. Malcolm Brogdon, good career, 6th man of the year, rookie of the year. I don't think he's going to end up getting in. I don't think Michael Porter Jr. is going to be a Hall of Famer either. He does have that ring. I mean, I could put him in on the wrong track as well. Who knows? Maybe he averages 30 points per game for the Brooklyn Nets. Maybe he's an all-star, an all-NBA guy. So I can't say he's got no chance, because maybe there is a chance. Mikal Bridges, probably on the wrong track, although I do think he's got somewhat better of a resume than some of these guys. Like, he did go to the NBA Finals with the Suns. He's won 2 national championships with the Villanova Wildcats, but he's not had the peak, I think, as good as anybody here. I'm still debating the Darius Garland one, because maybe I bumped down Darius Garland. Maybe I do. Maybe he needs to really elevate himself as like a top 25 player, top 20 player. That's a tough one. Like, I'm going back and forth on the Garland one. I'll get back to him. Mike Conley, like maybe the most respected player on this list. Just never got really a technical foul. Only a one-time All-Star, and it was a replacement All-Star, I believe, as well. 4-time Sportsmanship Man of the Year winner, which is very impressive. Probably not, but I think he deserves the respect to be in here as well. Does not have a ring. Miles Turner, probably on the wrong track. Maybe we could have talked about him on the right track if he got a ring with the Pacers this year. Who knows how it's going to be with the Bucks. I'll say for Jokic, 50-50. No, if Jokic retired today, he would obviously be a Hall of Famer. 3-time MVP winner. Maybe having one of the greatest scoring and just overall peaks we have seen from somebody not named LeBron James or Michael Jordan. And we're going to have, I think, a better debate. Is Nikola Jokic going to be like a top 10, top 8 player of all time when he retires, which is just incredible and could have gotten his 4th MVP this year for sure. Nikola Vucevic is so far into his career, I don't think there is a shot that he ends up getting in, although it isn't, I think, a good career for sure. Definitely a good career. Same with Norman Powell, good career, just had the best year of his career as a 31-year-old. I don't think there's a chance he gets in. Anunoby, he's got the defensive peak. He's got the ring with Toronto, although he didn't really, he was hurt for that run. He would have to get a ring with the Knicks to, I think, change that. And that's why I do this every single year. Because say the Knicks did get a ring, then guys like Mikal Bridges and Anunoby would go up a tier. Brunson would go up a tier. Josh Hart would go up a tier as well. Because I will give you credit for that ring, but we also got to see the longevity, the peak. Obviously, where is that at? Did you revolutionize your position, your role? Did you do anything overseas, international, for the Olympics, for college, etc.? Pascal Siakam, low key, I don't know. If he retired today, he got a ring with the Raptors in 2019. He's a 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA member. I don't think he would be a Hall of Famer if he retired today, but I do think he's on the right track for sure. And there's a clear path for him to be an All-Star starter with Indiana this season. Paul George is a Hall of Famer, 100%. 2019 with the Thunder, a great career with the Pacers, kind of challenging those Miami Heatles team with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. A good career with the Clippers. I know it's going to be tainted a little bit and looked at it in a different way since they gave up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They made it to one conference finals with him when they lost to the Suns in 2021. But Paul George is for sure a Hall of Famer in my opinion. Rudy Gobert, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I do think if he retired today, I wonder if it would be 50-50 or just be flat out a lock. I mean, he won 3 depoys. Or excuse me, he won 4 depoys. He's done well for Team France. We'll see if he's going to be participating for the 2028 team. And if France gets a gold medal, that could help out a ton. I just feel like everybody that I have in this tier, in the lock tier, has been at one point in their career, maybe outside of Kyle Lowry, a top 10 player in the league. Gobert was never in those discussions. But he's got 4 depoys. I think alone, that's going to make him a Hall of Famer. So, him and Lowry, I'm okay if you dropped a tier. But I do feel then, John Wall, I don't know, feels different than Lowry and Gobert. But I'm going to put those 2 guys up there. Russ is obviously a lock. 2017 MVP winner. Countless triple-doubles. Crazy peak in prime. And I feel he's one of the more unique players in NBA history as well. Scotty Barnes, I'm going to say he's still on the right track. If I have Franz Wagner here, I do want to put Scotty Barnes. He did win Rookie of the Year from that class. He was an all-star as well. So yeah, I think for what he's done in his first 4 years, that's an easy on the right track. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, probably a lock to make the Hall of Fame. Just after the year he had. I mean, he won MVP, Conference Finals MVP, and Finals MVP. He was the scoring leader, and he's been on All-NBA First Team the last 3 years. He didn't have the first, better than Luka the first 2 years, but over the last 3 years, you can make an argument he's right up there with Luka Doncic. He's led the Thunder to 2-1 seeds. I know that's obviously a team thing, not so much an individual thing, but it also kind of is when you are the MVP. So yeah, Shai would be a Hall of Famer if he retired today. Steph, another lock. Obviously, don't need to really explain that one too much. Tobias Harris, he's not a Hall of Famer, but his agent is going in the Agent Hall of Fame for sure. I don't think if Trae Young retired today, he would be a Hall of Famer, but he's definitely on the right track. Led the NBA in assists last year. He's basically averaged 25 and 10 since his sophomore year going forward. He helped the Hawks go to the conference finals in 2021. So I do think that Trae Young is on the right track. Tower Hero, probably on the wrong track. He's had a good career, was just an all-star last year, but he's got to elevate himself into a different tier or change his role to end up being in it. I do think Tyrese Halliburton is on the right track for sure. I didn't really expect that in Sacramento, and then he brought the Pacers to the conference finals in 24, and then what he did in 2025 was incredible. Multiple All-NBA appearances, definitely on the right track right now. Tyrese Maxey, oh man, this is tough because I feel he's similar to LaMelo Ball and Garland, where I feel he's done a decent amount for somebody drafted in 2020. But if I put him here, he's not made it to a conference finals. Neither has Garland though, or LaMelo. I mean, he's an all-star. Anyone most improved. He's got the same all-stars as LaMelo. I'm going to put him there. I think I might put Garland here as well. I think I'm only putting LaMelo on the wrong track just because he's yet to make the playoffs. And he's had trouble staying healthy. So I was going back and forth with Garland and Maxey, and that's tough. Zach LaVine, good player for sure. Great scorer. I think he's going to be a big what if as well, but on the wrong track. Zion, on the wrong track. It's like him and LaMelo, I think, could easily be a tier above for what they can be. And I think Zion even more than LaMelo. Like, Zion will have what he did at Duke, like the aura of that, but Duke didn't make it to the Final Four in 2019. He was the top high school guy coming out of South Carolina, going to Duke, and he was an all-star in the NBA. He was incredible. He needs to just stay healthy. That's why I'm saying he's on the wrong track right now. And Aaron Wiggins is down here because I meant to put Andrew Wiggins. And I also would have had Jaren Jackson Jr. probably on the right track as well. I just forgot to implement him here. He did get Defensive Player of the Year, so I think that alone I would have to put him on the right track. So I just ranked a ton of NBA guys. I have about 22 locks where if they retired today, they would make it to the Hall of Fame. I think for the 50-50s, like Jaylen Brown is maybe kind of in his own tier because he was Finals MVP. I think Cat and like Brown, like 2015 and 16 draft class, a little bit more recent than some of these guys. I think maybe Drew has the best chance out of these four. And then John Wall may have the worst chance because he doesn't have like the longevity. The best guy, and probably not. Like, you could say it's Bradley Beal because he had a higher peak individually than McCollum, Conley, Middleton, and Lopez. Both these guys do have a ring, though. Beal still needs to find that ring. I think Derek White's a wild card with the gold medal and with the NBA title, and he could end up being an all-star, who knows, here this season, but I don't want to do too many hypotheticals. And I think Sabonis has had a very good peak, but he's probably not going to get in. Like, I don't think he's on the wrong track. I don't think he's on the right track, so he's just kind of there. And I think Jamal Murray, like, these guys are going to have Hall of Fame, like, level careers, like, in the discussion. I feel like when they retire, like, they're going to be in this range for sure. And they were both in the 2016 draft class, on the right track. I mean, Devin Booker, you can make an argument if he retired today, could be a Hall of Famer, for sure. Same with Bam Adebayo, so I'm okay with those going forward. I think the toughest guys that I wanted to drop were probably, like, Maxey and Garland, because I do think they're similar in a way to, like, Zion and LaMelo Ball. And then, like, on the wrong track, I think those guys like Gordon, just because of the finals ring. Same with Andrew Wiggins and what he was as a prospect as well. Like, Mikal Bridges has the 2 rings at Nova, could help out a lot. Caruso's got 2 different rings. I think all these guys in a year from now could definitely be bumped up a tier. We just got to see what happens in 2026. A lot could change if they add an all-star, an NBA finals appearance to their resume, or an NBA title ring under their belt as well. And I don't think anybody here can change their careers too much in the no chance. Maybe if Emmanuel Quickley breaks out, maybe if Jaden McDaniels gets a ring, then it's somewhat similar to like an Aaron Gordon. I think I should put actually Jaden McDaniels on the wrong track because he's still incredibly young. He was drafted in 2020. I feel like that was something I should have done earlier before, but I think I'm comfortable with no chance on everybody else right now. When it's all said and done. And that was a lot. Hope you guys did enjoy that video. It was super fun to make. If you did enjoy it, I'd appreciate you dropping a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think about that down below. I think it's always fun to talk about Hall of Fame. I always wish it was a little bit tougher to get in, right? Not maybe as extreme as the MLB, but maybe the NFL is a nice blend between the two. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Subscribe if you're not already. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.